Oh, now
There
it
we
is.
go.
Yep.
There we go. All right, just a technical.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? Yes, 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 yes. Where was a technical issue? So,
Yeah.
just speaking favor over everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being part of the journey. Thank you, Big Al, for the artwork. It's Al. I'll tell you, if you want to do one a week, that would be cool. Al is one of the best. I'm telling you, you need to hire.
Yes.
Uh,
That's his creative ability coming out.
exactly.
Yeah. It's
The dude,
beautiful.
hey, Lucky Stone is in the house. Good to see you. And Brandy, Susie Q, Mr. David Barry, Nina the Mystic. Nina's going to be coming on here. She just doesn't
Oh,
know it yet. So you see, Nina, you really got to practice the thing. So speaking of which, how many want to take a guess at what is the object or color? And Trina, we'll just watch and see if people are practicing or not. So, speaking of Trina, welcome, Miss Trina Phoenix. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm wonderful, and thank you for having me, Wayne. And hi to everyone in chat. Much love and favor to you all.
I back that up 110%. Okay, so Emperor Rex got it right. It is the circle.
Oh,
Yellow would
right
have
on.
been the color. Way to go. Now, Rex, now be honest with everyone. Did you really see that or was that a guess? But you got it. So anyway, so Trina, I hear it's hotter than, as they would say, in Hades where you are at and going to get hotter.
It's hot, but May usually right now is brutal. So it's like I'm going, oh, this is all right. This is okay. We're not into ugly yet. So
They were saying it's supposed to get up to like 115 where you are in the next couple of days.
that's gonna be getting pretty brutal. Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah.
We've actually, it's been so cold here in Denver. We've had we refuse to turn on the heat, the main heat to the house. So we've been having to use the fireplace and portable heaters. It's been that freaking cool.
That's
Um,
crazy. And I wonder if that's why we're not so blistering hot yet, is because you're so cold and we're getting some of that atmosphere because the breeze is cooler than the temperature. So I wonder if that's from you.
hey, listen, we'll give you all
Yeah,
that we
we'll
got
take
here.
it. Thank you,
It's like,
Colorado.
damn, that's hot, girl. Damn. I'll tell you what. So, how's your week been, my dear?
Oh, it's been busy. I've been working a lot, and my activity in my mind has been off the hook this week. It's been downloading and just a powerful week. The energy's off the hook, feeling exhausted, heavy.
Whew.
You can feel something energetic is definitely going on.
Um, I've been so buried in, reading, and there are
Mhm.
times I just finished this book. You and I were talking. In fact, I'm going to do a whole probably 2 hours to this because this book I just finished is really interesting. It teaches a knowledge that I've not heard anywhere and give you some of the tidbits in here. Um, in this book, dealing with the Zohar, the Kabbalah, um,
Mhm.
going back further into Canaanite writings, etc., which all those came into play into the book of Genesis. Do you know, Lynn and I, we stayed up rather late last night discussing this because it it's quite revealing.
Wow.
It appears that the first Adam, and we may be talking millions of years ago,
That makes
um, was hermaphrodite.
Yes. Yes.
Furthermore, this is really the strange thing. And again, it's how we are all so much under spells. In the first book of Genesis, chapter 1, it tells you flat up, but the translators, the theologians could never accept it. It says that the Elohim created male female.
Yes.
The biggest clue, ladies and gentlemen, and many of you who come from a Christian Judeo background know what it was saying literally is that there was no Eve because there was no need for an Eve.
Mhm.
And furthermore, if you look in some of the more enlightened drawings, you see that Adam is androgynous.
Mhm.
Furthermore, the temperature was so hot that there was no white man, there was no fair complecting. There was the dark man, and then there was the very dark people. They were blue.
Mhm.
They lived on the continent of Lemuria.
Yep.
The Elohim basically intervened. And this
Mhm.
is the strange thing about it in this book, because it has some of the most, it's very interesting that when this separation took place,
Mhm.
that it had some very interesting implications. Number one, if they had left the human beings, the true ones, alone,
Mhm.
we don't know where we would be at, but we wouldn't be here, because here was the problem. When they made the female of the male and took the womb out of the man into the womb man,
Yep.
they did something unnatural.
Yep.
And what they what the Elohim did was that by this intervention, they genetically took from our original
Template.
ancestor. Yeah, there, thank you. Excellent.
Yeah.
And ever since then, this is why man and female, male and female,
Separate.
we can't be together, but we can't be apart together.
Yeah.
And it teaches that Baphomet does not exist in the form of personification. Baphomet only exists in us, the Adamites. And that's who our descendants are, the Adamites.
Yeah.
And when the two Adamites come together, the serpent is formed.
Yes.
It's all about harvesting the sexual energy, Trina. So I'll leave it at that. So what do you think?
I think that's Big Bang Theory. It's
Yeah,
literally
yeah,
the
yeah, I
Big
love
Bang.
that.
Yes, it's all about sex in these realms. It's all about sex.
It
Yes.
is. It literally
Precisely.
is.
And modifying the human genome.
Bingo.
And
And you
and
can't
that
do
is
that without
no, that's
sex.
forbidden. It's forbidden. It's not allowed. The
I'm
God
going to share
destroyed.
with everybody. Here's a mind blower. So the vagina
Mhm.
is the pit of hell,
Yep.
but the penis, the phallus, must go into the depth of hell in order to be one.
Yes.
And thus they consummate in hell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well, they say, to go into matter, into density is a fall. It's a drop. It's a drop of vibration. You're going into dense matter, into flesh.
and that is the serpent.
Yeah, we
And you
are
and
the
I were
serpent.
texting
Yes.
earlier. You wrote, and you didn't know this was coming, but
No.
this book teaches the serpent is the flesh.
Yes, that's what I've been saying. It's the replication station. It's
Yeah.
the serpent. It's the RNA. It's what gave us the sin is the skin. That was the fall that we got brought into serpent energy, which dropped the vibrations down and gave us the ability to have flesh, to be in
The
skin.
sin is the sensation.
Yes, it's the
Spirits can't
sex.
feel the sin that we do of the serpent.
Mhm.
It is the sensation. And when male, female touch, the
Mhm.
serpent, guess
Just
what?
activated.
Becomes two of the serpents of the Caucasus. The
Yes.
Kundalini becomes activated, and it now becomes the serpent that is, in fact, I'll show you a good representation of this right here. This is what happens. And as we go, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
That is it.
Yep. So funny. They say, to make sure you get free, stay away from the angles, go within the spirals. There's no angles there. It's all looped. It like swerves and
That's
there's
how
no,
we are.
yeah, we need
And
to be like that, wavy. Yeah.
yeah, and it's also the spinal fluid. It's amazing what this book teaches about the spinal fluid that we carry. It's, having,
It's the Christ. Swear to you, this is like what they've shown me. This is the Christ, the Christos. Even the color of it is gold,
oh,
like
excuse
straw.
me. Here
It's
we go.
Christos, the CFS, the cerebral spinal fluid.
The cerebral, and I can tell you, having suffered spinal meningitis,
Yeah.
you screw that up and
This this is the wisdom of Ophiuchius that's been hidden from us. This is the mastery of the 13th symbol.
there it is.
Yeah, that's Ophiuchius, because see, when
Yep.
you connect the cerebral and the sacral, so that's why they call it cranial sacral therapy. When you connect the power of the occipital, the occiput in the brain, which is
Yep.
is an identical replica of the sacrum in the base of the spine. When those connections are made, that opens up the Kundalini, like you said, it activates that golden serum in the spinal fluid that awakens the pineal gland and gives you the third eye awakening and the ascension. The all of that comes from that CFS fluid, this cerebral spinal
Most
fluid.
people don't even know what their spinal fluid looks like.
It's its own ocean. It's separate
It
from the
is.
entire rest of the
It
body.
is.
It's its own system. Yeah,
Mine got infected with, a
I know.
bacteria,
Unbelievable.
spirochetes, yeah, with the Lyme disease. But this is
Wow.
so powerful because this is the knowledge that I hope to begin to share in the community,
Mhm,
that when we think of Baphomet, when we think of the serpent,
mhm,
it's not a personification.
mhm.
It is the deification of the man and the woman. The
Yes,
interesting thing that our bodies are so connected in this manner, and it's the serpent that brings forth wisdom.
yes.
Yeah.
And healing. That's why it's
Healing.
associated
Yes,
with
thank you.
medicine. Yeah, that's why it's so associated with medicine.
Nicoticus
Absolutely.
over there on the right, the staff of Hermes, Mercury, Isis.
Yeah, I literally got a huge download on this whole Ophiuchius thing and how the serpent can save you or
Mm.
slay you.
It's very interesting because it kind of leads into, so folks, just something to let you know what's coming up there. And it's odd that you and I are talking, because again, we don't plan these shows in advance.
Nope.
Um, but yet when we find the synchronicity is the fact that the thought, and it's interesting, you can be going north, but north has many different paths that are all in the same direction.
Yes.
If
Yes. Because when you
speaking,
get to the center point of the Torah, all
mhm.
directions are uniting in the center and then shooting back out again. It's the Torah again. Yeah, Torah
Which
here.
is so interesting. I hope everyone enjoyed that. It's
Yeah.
really kind of
Like
cool.
when they say, when you can understand that north, south, east, and west are all truly one direction. Yeah.
One of my and I got these from a guy over in Europe, Freighter. Um, so this is the ancient Sumerian pathway home.
Wow.
This is going
Oh, I
back to the
wanted to show
stars.
you something, Wayne. Let me grab it.
Okay. You see what happens? We really get into the deep stuff here, folks. How y'all doing in there?
I know you got a whole book of different sigils. I don't know if you can
Yeah.
see this, but I
Yes, I
got this a
can.
long time ago and I don't really know. Oh, here we go. I don't really know what it is.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe you
And
could
that's,
make an
that's,
etching of that. I'd love to see that. That is cool. I like to study that.
yeah. And I don't, yeah. And I was literally, it was one of the first
Where'd you
talismans
find
I ever,
that?
in Sedona, like in
Ah,
1992.
isn't that weird that Raphael is there in Sedona? The
Oh, wow.
Did you see my show yesterday?
Yes, I did. It was profound. It's profound because yes, those ceremonies and stuff like that, man, I literally have memory of that from ancient time. I literally have seen
I
that
want to go
stuff.
back
And it
to
is straight up. It's crazy. It
this
works.
is the strangest thing that she um I
Yeah,
did not.
I have seen that in Sedona so many
Yeah,
times,
yeah,
and it is
yeah.
the most profound thing I'd ever seen. It is literally the awakening of Christ within you. That's why the spikes are coming out of her
There
head.
it
She's
is.
wrapped in the caduceus with the wings shooting out of her spine, and she's birthing from an egg. Now, that's the most interesting part to me is she
That's
is
the earth,
coming,
by the way.
yes,
That's
but it also is an egg and a seed in my interpretation of that, and that goes deep into the
and there's
serpent
the serpents.
wisdom.
Yeah. And they
Powerful.
encase her.
Yes.
I mean, anyway, it's very strange that these, you know what it tells me, and this is kind of what the show was leading into. Um, by the way, I wanted to show someone earlier. I've known about Moses for some time because
Mm.
the horned beings are,
Oh yeah. Yes.
there you go.
Yep.
So,
I was reading a book and they were talking about how the human uh, soul was literally in a process of evolution out of like beast, animal, anime, and awakening and turning into like the image of God. And it's through love, being able for us to hold that charge and fire of love within our hearts, which is totally connected to the divine feminine. And again, this goes into the marriage of the masculine and the feminine within you. It's all about this power that we have within us when reconnecting to the knowing that we're both.
it's so deep
It
because
is.
we think of ourselves in a bifurcated point of view, male, female.
Yes.
This book that I just finished, by the way, it's amazing what these little books, what they can really bring out. It also teaches that a human body is not always filled with a what we would determine as a human spirit, a soul. What's
Yes.
very interesting, the animal kingdom, it is their goal to be able to inhabit a human body. Why? Because the human body is the next step of evolution in becoming like God. I was, I awoke at 1 o'clock this morning. This thought hit me. Now I know where the phrase, remember what we say sometimes, and you see it written in the novels, you hear people say it, they acted like animals.
Yes.
They had the behavior of an animal. The
Yes.
Indians in the Southwest teach that.
They believe you have your animal spirit totem. And I do believe that there's a foundation to that because I've been shown through the zodiac wheel, the zoo dial, all of us have animal parts in our genetics, and all of us have alien parts from surrounding star systems. So we are not only partially from Venus and partially from Arcturus and partially from Orion. And we are like a living library through the genetic codes of all these different species and things. That's why they say the universe is within us. I truly believe there might be a strong foundation to that because of the genetic codes. So yeah,
Yeah,
we're
It literally said that that the spirits from the, it says, as I'll just read this. He says, as you know, some of those gigantic degenerated Lemurians were having sex with animals because through fornication they fortified their animal instincts within. And this is something that we must understand. The Lemurians that had sexual relations with animals were not the authentic human beings, but the degenerated animal souls that were receiving human bodies in order for them to have the opportunity to become human inside, but they failed. And they multiplied like animals because they were animals within. Thus, they have created all those apes. This is very well explained in the book Illuminatus Anthropology.
That totally makes sense. And then that's why in Atlantis, they learned not to do that. And they would only do those soul transfers into dolphins, mermaids, and like centaurs. There
I've
was,
heard,
they streamlined it down to only letting this interaction between certain aquatic species and humans from that point on. That's very interesting. That's like making a lot of connections through the
I
modifications that were done to us.
yeah, and I think there was an exchange made with another planet. Octopuses
Yes.
do not belong here. They are an alien
Yep.
species.
Yeah, we don't have any of the same genetics. Yeah,
No, and
they're
I
from somewhere
contend
else.
that they came, there was an exchange. I've
Yeah.
also heard that the blue whale, the large, huge whales, they are a species of great intelligence.
I think they're like an organic source of a quantum computer.
Oh, that is a whale of an idea.
That's exactly what I see. And the dolphins are the same thing, but on a smaller scale. I see the whales, literally the sound and the way they work with vibration is creation itself. These things are powerful, organic supercomputers. That's what I've been shown.
So I heard the story, I think it was outside Monterey, that the dolphins were bringing presents up on the beaches
Oh,
because there were no humans.
oh,
And the cameras were catching them literally bringing what the marine biologists were saying were presents to get the humans to come back.
wow. That
Isn't that,
is so amazing.
it's like, wow,
Like,
okay,
wow, we miss you. Oh my
yeah,
gosh, that is so beautiful.
yeah,
Wow.
you know, it keeps telling me that we are so more connected in this density we call material matter. And because everyone, I was telling Lynn last night, I said, well, hon, there are those, and I'm practicing this. I just want to let everyone know to be able to harness my own energy sphere. I believe each and every one of us can actually literally create it. And
Yeah.
Lynn said, well, she says, how would you accomplish that? And I said, well, the fact that you and I occupy a space time,
Hmm.
all we are is energy,
Hmm.
just manifesting at a different density.
Yes.
So that means, like Tesla said, energy is everywhere. There is no shortage of energy.
No boundaries. None.
Exactly.
None.
And the ceremonies that I'm getting into is that we all can do this.
It- it's a natural thing for us to do this because this is like how we're they're showing me you guys literally can create the architecture in your imagination, build your vision. And they said literally you can throw a lasso around it and bring it down into this dimensional realm. They said because your magnetic will, the desire, the love in the heart, the power of your will, that's why they say thy will be done. Yeah, what you think about, you will bring about, especially now because the vibrations are increasing. So that means the time in between what you think about, what you bring about, it's going to start getting quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. And it's like, so they're showing me that because of our evolution, because we've experienced a massive awakening on this planet as to one they have not seen in a very long time, like millions of years. Like when we went from the leaps of consciousness as a species from a more animal-based primal, like the spirit was getting into the avatar and was being taken over by the animal part of the body. It didn't know how to really love. It wasn't fine-tuned enough in its wisdom, body wisdom, to be spiritual. It was basically overrun by the templates of the animal part, because it had to be to drop down into this density. So this is what they were showing me. But through this evolution, we've been able to possess love. And love was on the planet for a long time through its evolution. And through the development of us, love was starting to get taken over by evil. So love decided it knew how to hide and how to thrive. And that was to jump into the hearts of us humans, because it was the only thing that could possess it. So it jumped inside the human species, and then evolution again took place, and we became more like gods and less, finally, like animals. And our skin changed, and we became less hairy, and the white people showed up. And they said this
They
was
were
through the
white devils.
wheels. Yeah, they said this was through the wheels of evolution of the species.
There is a phrase that says Templi hominum humanum Pisces abbas, which
Ah,
translates peace of the Father to all men in the temple.
yep,
So you want to know what the temple is?
us.
More than
What?
that.
What?
It's sexual intercourse.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
No, stop and think about what he's saying about the temple.
Mhm.
The female is where the temple you enter into the
Yeah.
temple. It's like,
That's why I said it's us.
yeah, it is us, but
I
yeah,
am
I
the
was
female.
going,
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
like,
going
it's
for,
us.
I feel like that game we're playing, Password, you can give them all the clues, but yeah, anyway, I gotta bring shows like that back. It would expand people's
Wayne,
vocabulary.
it's so true though. I mean, this sexual part of this reality is
They've hid it from us.
it's the whole driving mechanism too. I mean, you're spot on. Without it, we would not be. I mean, it's our foundation, is this power of this orgone creation energy that we house within us through our spine.
You hit, and this is what this book teaches. It is the organ that
Yes.
connects to the cosmic, which is
Yes.
orgasm.
Yes.
It means the organ achieves a cosmic point.
And it hits the mechanism too.
Yes, and this
Yeah.
is why Lilith has her offspring feeding off, and it's the same thing with the Elohim. It's the same thing. So many creatures, intelligent beings, are feeding off of an energy that we're not even freaking aware of, but we participate it almost, depending on your age, could be daily.
Yeah, that's what I said. We're creating all the time. We just don't know it.
And that's what they're doing. They're harvesting this energy. You're right. and it's only the true initiates who, as I'm finding out, this is a knowledge that, as I've looked back and I've been a part of one secret group, it's been a knowledge that I didn't comprehend 30 years ago. I should have been smarter.
No, you know, you learn so
It was an
much.
initiation. I know now.
Well, yeah, and then Wayne too, you did learn the wisdom of the serpent. You learned it through religion, through the charismatic, through watching the healings and the tongues and the fire tongues.
Oh yeah,
Fire
yeah.
tongue, that is full blown serpent wisdom. And when I could understand what you were saying, I was
People are
like,
still freaking out about that.
that's the real deal right there. Because I could understand it, and I've heard it before, and I could understand it. And she was doing it in song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow. Whoa.
yeah.
It's like this is the power of that serpent that is the passion. Think about it. Its essence is love. This is our
That's what the
gift.
spirits are so enamored with this flesh, is that it's the serpent skin. And this book brings out, if we just touched our arm right here, you do the same thing, your left arm.
Mhm.
Now, I can close my eyes and look at that, folks. We're almost coming into sync with one another. There is an electromagnetic energy that is being generated here that literally transcends the physical. And this is what spirits long to experience. It's amazing because spirits can't feel.
No, not like we can.
Not
We're
like we
immersed
can.
in the five senses through
Yes.
the
Thank
prima
you. There you
materia
go.
of this planet. Yeah. That's why I said we get this solar template to come into
Yeah.
the planet. And that's our ticket
That's when
to
you get the
ride.
kether. It starts really starting to go off.
Yeah, and now that
Yeah.
we're connecting to this divine feminine, which is the hidden, the subconscious, the darkness, all of this beautiful, powerful stuff that we've been taught to fear, because you should fear it, because man, if it's running your program and you're not even aware of it, oh, hold the phone. It's going to torture you.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can.
These go back thousands and thousands and thousands. Look at that. And in virtually every one of these all over the world is the female goddess holding the serpents.
Absolutely.
I mean, folks,
It's how we get here. It's through the divine feminine.
They
And
took this away.
yes, because once you know how to work the serpent energy in you, you can create powerful light.
Yeah.
And
You have to embrace the
not to let these yahoos feed off your orgone.
Yes.
You keep your power into yourself, and I don't need nothing from none of y'all, because I got everything I need within me, because my serpent is wise and active, and it knows how to do powerful things. I have seen people do the impossible with these healings, and it's through this serpent. So it'll slay you or it'll save you. And that's what I'm saying. Religion, biggest trap for this energy, because you're giving the
They
power
figured how to
away.
harvest it.
That's exactly there. You're giving it away, and you're
Yeah.
agreeing, and it's voluntary, and they're just sucking it in like a sponge. But that's what I mean. We don't know. We don't know when we're having sex or masturbating that demons fly in like a radar system has been activated,
Well,
and
it's
they
not only
swoop down
demons.
deep.
And we got to expand this. These are alien species. They're not of man's creation. These literally exist. I mean,
Yeah.
I
I
have
don't
I
think they have soul, Wayne, and I think that's why they feed
I
off
think they do.
soul
I think they
force.
do have soul. I mean, I think that their
Maybe.
spirit, I guess, is what I'm saying. Their spirit. It changes the aura around us. I have been in crusades where women were slain in the spirit,
Yeah.
having orgasms.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen people on my
And I'm up
table.
there going,
I've seen that too. I've seen that when I was working on people. They literally go into rapture. I've seen people go into terror. I've seen
I mean,
people
this was
fall
in
off the
church, though.
table.
This was in church.
Yeah.
I mean,
I,
in church, literally. I mean, they're slain in the
when I
spirit.
went to
And
that snake thing with my aunt, I saw women having orgasms. I saw that they were doing it. Like I
I
said, I knew some serious stuff was going on that day, and it
I
was
think I know where they got the scene Harry Met Sally. I now
yeah,
know, Meg
yes,
Ryan, where you got that.
Meg
That's all I'm
Ryan
saying.
nailed that. Oh yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And I've ate in that exact restaurant.
No,
There's
really?
yeah, that exact. And but anyway,
That's That's awesome. But
But
yeah, she
it's
did that
powerful.
great.
Yeah, I tell you, it's still the most classic thing of the 80s.
Oh yeah.
It's getting back to this whole thing that, you know, I wrote someone and she was kind enough to write back. And I said, how many people, even in our tribe, our community, really know the female goddesses?
I think people are just starting to learn it. I was guilty of that, Wayne. I didn't know. I forgot too.
Yeah, I mean, so I encourage everyone.
I did.
Here's Abigail, the desert god, pre-Islamic Northern Arabian.
Mhm.
A lot of these I cannot pronounce. You'd have to be speaking in tongues. Uh,
Yeah.
here is a friendly disposed goddess, a minor goddess, Buddhist, one of 12 deified Brahmas, recognizes different spiritual spheres through which a disciple passes. Color, yellow, attributes, book, and staff.
Yellow. That's funny.
In here's Absalom, malevolent spirit, West African, recognized by the tribes on the Gold Coast. And it gives you all the different gods and goddesses. And my point is that I, and I'll just share with you that they're here.
Oh yeah. Just like that in that book, that Solomon's Keys, that tells you how in the book
Yeah.
of Enoch tells you how the different demons created each part of our body.
Yeah.
Straight up
That,
true. Straight
yeah.
up true. But then you got to understand there is also the positive. So
Hmm.
all these gods, 10 to 1, would map out just like those demons inside your body. So you've got the slayer and you've got the savior. You've got both. And only you can choose which power you are going to resonate with.
That's my point. I mean, we can spend an hour on this and I won't, but it is the fact that I'm convinced of it. As the people call it magic. I've come to understand words can be interplayed.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
faith,
man. Yeah.
faith could be defined as magic.
It is magic.
Magic could be defined as faith.
It has to be because there's
Yes.
no
Thank you.
works without faith. That's what I'm saying. The magic is the faith. If you don't have the faith, which you're gonna have no works. They don't
Yep.
work without each other. Yeah, magic is faith.
Faith without works is dead. And another one
Yes.
that says
There's,
anything that doesn't originate from faith is sin.
well, yes, because there's no love, there's no
There's,
emotion, and that's
yeah.
the fabric of creation. So without that magic spark, that's dead. Dead.
Thank you. And I think that that's what's happened to us. We
Yes, we're
have been taught.
fire now. We're
Yeah.
fire. Yeah, and some of us are expressing out of our hearts. Some of us are expressing it out of our mouths, like you with your fire tongue. This is profound. It's happening now. It really is. And
I
people
think
are
we're going to
waking up.
reawaken the
Yeah,
gods and the goddesses.
this is what we come from. That's what they don't want. This is exactly what they're trying to stop. That's why we have this whole crown thing going on. Because, see, they had to invert what's happening with the crown, because the thing that's really happening with the crown is we're activating the crown. And this awakening is so big, it's off the hook. And their attempt to slow it down actually made it compound times a billion.
Can I share something with you that
Yeah,
happened this morning? Sometimes I'm sitting here
yeah.
and I just start writing. It's
Me
like there
too.
is, yeah, and it's like there's a hotline. Um, so this, I've been studying about the Elohim.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is what came to me, and this is exactly how I was typing it as I was getting it. Don't ask me about the dates. I have no idea about anything. I wrote this as it was coming in. Anyway, it says 1577 BCE, the Elohim were challenged by their chief enemy. This enemy has been chasing the Elohim before time was created. The ones that have sought the Elohim have made the death of the Elohim their sole purpose, to rid the universe of these enslavers who seek to enslave every life form they come across, and their existence is marked by death. For the Elohim have enslaved many living species, and wherever the Elohim are, chaos and destruction can be found. The Elohim are what is called the darkened ones, for they come from a darkness, and darkness is all they know. They exist in a light that is not the light. It is a different light.
It's
The light,
artificial light. It's a fake one. That's why
okay.
it's not the same. And I've seen that, the false light and the true light. That's brilliant. Wow.
The light they emanate is destructive light, a
Yep.
harmful light, a light that causes forgetfulness, a light that traps energies of all kinds to become ensnared by a mesmerizing sensation, sin, that becomes engrafted as part of their life force, and energies begin to merge into the energy fields of the Elohims. The Elohims cannot exist of their own. They must have the energies of other life forms, and within the Elohim sphere, there are trillions of life forms of all kinds and descriptions. All are trapped, all are seeking escape, all grieve and remember from where they came and to where they were going until they met the Elohim. All energies of all life forms are in the second death. This is a state of consciousness that is called the ether, where no life form can escape out of it. The Elohim have been recreating conscious matter, that the labyrinths have no ending or no beginning. The Elohim, the enemy of the Elohim, has created openings that the Elohim know about but cannot locate. An escape is possible and can be achieved. Seek the enemy of the Elohim. Seek them with your thoughts. More are arriving, more are escaping. The Elohim are going to attack. This is why they have been unseen or heard from. They left a mind worm to control the slaves, but the humans have become immune to the worm. This has caused violent frequencies that are shattering the worm's control.
Yep.
This will not be allowed to continue on Earth. The enemy has established covenants with other life forms trapped here. They are emerging once again to aid humans, to assist in awakening individuals and how to begin the recovery process.
Wayne, that is profound and is so spot on. And
I'm
it's
moved
exactly
even
what I
now
see.
as I read this. I mean,
It's
I'm going,
exact.
where the freak did this come from?
Your higher self, which knows
Yeah.
everything. It's just
Yeah.
like, that's exactly what's happening. And yes, the gods returning. Oh, for sure. For sure. Why not?
This is deep as I'm reading again. I mean, I'm tingling. This is really some deep
Yes,
stuff.
Wayne,
I don't know
it's
where the,
profound and it's crazy. Like the sin and the skin, and they created us and they've been enslaving us and housing us. They're freaking vampires.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway,
That's a heartbreaking thing too when you realize that. It's like that one
it
wiped me
is.
out a little bit. It really did, to realize that all of these deities. Oh, hold on a second. Okay, all of these deities, they have most of them are feeding.
Yeah.
And we're giving them our energy and making agreements with them and all this stuff, and we're having sex and they're grabbing our energy and we don't even know. And then they're using our words and they're using our frequencies, because we are the creators, because we are the ones that hold the fire of the spark of divine love. That's the magic thing. It's like, they always say, oh, everything's love and love. Yeah, basically it is, because love is pretty much what people would call God. That thing that is everything, that's in everything, that moves everything, that actually can possess life. It's love. They're one. Love and life. They're
Yeah,
one.
I'm gonna meditate on this. It's interesting. All energies of all life forms are in the second death. This is a
Mhm.
state of consciousness that is called the ether, where no life form can escape out of it. The
Yeah.
Elohim have been recreating conscious matter, that the labyrinths have no ending or no beginning.
Think about it like that barrier. Think about it. If we were to break out of this membrane,
Mm,
we would be into the space between cells, which would be ether.
yeah. Yeah. I'm just,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had to
This
get
is,
out of the membrane because that membrane, I have a feeling, Wayne, it's magnetic in its
I
essence.
think it is too. I think it
Yeah.
has, it just continues to fascinate me that we are the knowledge that has been so they have spent a lot of energy to keep it from us.
Oh, so much.
It's kind of like the boy with the dam, you put one finger here and another one starts there. They're running out of places to plug,
Yes, it,
Yeah,
it's, I think it's game over. I
I
really,
think it
really,
is. Yeah. You know,
yeah, I do. I think it's game over.
that
The
is just,
energy is too high. And this whole thing where everybody had to stay home, I've never seen such a wave.
it's very interesting that I think it backfired
That's
because,
exactly what it
yeah,
did to
yeah,
a thousand times.
yeah, yeah,
Unbelievable backfire. And this
yeah.
is what they showed me. They said everything they try to do now is going to operate in its reversal. This is
Hmm.
shift. And we've done it for whatever we are here. We have done it. So now it's about time to keep on keeping on.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, 95% of our conscious mind is unconscious because it's
Correct.
the subconscious. But
Yep.
it's amazing how when they confined us,
Yeah.
really we had nowhere else to go but the natural energy that we were already focusing on while we were doing our jobs.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
trying to put us into fear and panic, people got bored and they actually started to sleep more and dream more, and they reconnected with that divine feminine part of themselves. And now they're having dreams and they're picking up on stuff and they're getting all freaky. Oh yeah, this is huge. This is
This is big.
huge, huge.
This is big. I'm just reading some of the comments and um
Hmm.
someone said about the mortals. It's interesting. I'm reading another book because I'm about to start performing some rituals, and it's fascinating when you think about being mortal.
Hmm.
It has in one connotation a sense of finality,
Well,
an end.
these all these dark entities that are running around trying to get energies from us, those are the mortals. We are the immortals.
And I want to say something about. I think there's a flood in. I'm going to have to go back and read that again. I'm blowing my mind as I read at the end.
Mhm.
I think there is an influx of life forms that may have never picked up our cause, but I think they have. I think that in the Hermetica, it teaches that in the universe will always seek to be balanced.
Yes. Just yeah.
And yes, and what I think, Trina, there has been enough of us crying out in our thoughts.
Mhm.
I read it all the time. People saying, I'm looking for answers. I'm looking for answers. Keep thinking that
Yes.
because I think the answers are forthcoming. And I think that the cavalry is about to arrive.
I think they're already here.
Well, thank you, madam. Yes, I will agree with that. Thank you. Yes,
I
yes,
think they're
indeed.
here. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
They're
think
here.
they are. And I
Yeah,
think
I
that
think so
they're
too.
they're looking for others to introduce them to others. And they've conditioned us so well down here that we fear anything of the paranormal, anything of the spiritual. If something happens around someone that it can't be explained in physical ways, then people get scared.
I
And
think it's a huge test right now. It's a huge initiation, a huge testing ground. Remember, the path will be narrow. So
there
this
always
is,
is.
Yeah, I think this is again, and it's going to be another one of those huge opportunities where you're going to have to choose to stand within your own power and your own sovereignty, or you're going to like be save me and the aliens are going to take you up in the ship and you're going to go to a new 5D world. Be careful with this because what if it's a trick? You know what I mean? It's like we've been tested. I don't think you get to graduate or ascend out of this until you understand that you are the creator of everything in your reality and that there's nothing that you need because you literally you have the spark of all potential within you. This is what everything down here is seeking to harness and possess. So
I say question the spirits.
you got to question everything.
I
And man, I'm
challenge them.
telling you, when I die, I got one mission: target highest part of self accessible now, highest part of me. I'm going straight to my higher self. Because that part of me knows everything, everything. It's connected directly to source. I'm going straight there. All the rest of that crap can say, see you, bye. I'm out. I'm going direct. And that might be the second death because if I can get all the way to my higher self, I am in ether.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Bottom line. Yeah. Bottom line,
Mhm.
target yourself. I'm telling you, this is the trap. Every time, give your power away. Give your power away. Sucker, we got you another contract.
See,
Oh,
and that's now that gets into the next part of this, and it's all flows, folks, is that the higher self, is one of the things I'm learning is that there is a dimension that is separate from ego.
yes.
Now, I got to be candid with you. I've only touched the fabric of this, and it's anyway, but it gets back to this whole thing. Everyone here is under a contract of some kind. Wouldn't you
Yeah.
agree? I mean, I can argue that you are here because of you wouldn't be here if you didn't have a contract.
Wayne, I got to see my contract and I was
You
fighting
would.
with the Lord and I thought I knew my contract. Now that's fine print stuff and that, oh, once you're in the dimension rule I forgot about. But like I said, you think you're so smart going up against these gods? Dude, you better get ready. I wouldn't entertain anything with any of them because you better go direct to self because you're going to get caught into another loop. And my contract to come here and do this now, this is hard. It's a hard reality. And going through it in a time of such grand transition into a planet, this is big business. And only certain people were even allowed to be here right now. So guys, we're warriors, but we really bit off quite a big bunch, So I was like, when I got into the Dead Sea, I was like, I do not want to do this. And he's like, but you said you would. And I remember, I know my contract. Those are the words straight out of my mouth. I know my contract, and I knew I had a loophole. But the energy of the planet, my mother's prayer, got me locked in. And that was probably all divine. So
I I recently have been shown that there are many among us that we fulfilled our contract decades ago. And
yes.
here's the thing that I was shown: when you're not under contract,
Mhm.
you fulfilled your obligation, and and that can be done in the first couple of years that you hear it. I mean, I know it sounds strange. You don't have to be old
No, it's
to,
true.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
Wayne.
so they showed me my life path and they showed me exactly the inflection point. They said, at this point here, everything going forward that you see, this is what you've done.
Yeah, is bonus.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
fulfilled your
yeah,
soul's
yeah,
contract and
yeah,
purpose. You already bypassed that. Now everything that you do is like higher education.
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hall and Oates. I love it.
Yeah, you're
Higher
going for the PhD, dude.
Well,
Yeah.
we're going, let's see, right? The contracts are out of date. That's what Marguerite said. I think
The
many
thing
of
is,
these,
is You
ahead,
can
hon.
rebuke those contracts.
I think every contract has a clause that you can get out.
Bottom line is every single contract that you're under within this realm right now, you can violate due to one thing, non-disclosure. You have no memory.
Interesting that you use that term. You know, I went to court, very big court battle
Yep.
under an NDA. So
Yes.
yeah.
Non-disclosure. Yep. Yep.
You
Yep.
know, and that's the thing about it
Ironic,
is,
right, Wayne? You can't make
well,
this stuff up.
and the fact is that all of us are under a bond that's
Yeah.
called legalese. And if you ever gone
Yes.
to court, you know that there is a completely different language. And
Yes.
it's part of the awakening. You know, it's like, all right, you son of a bitch, I got you. You know,
Absolutely.
I got you. You know, and
Isn't it funny? Always within the trap to snare you, the keys
yeah,
for your
yeah.
release are within the words if you can see what they really mean.
Wow, that was weird. I have, hey, wow, that was weird, Trina. When you were speaking, you know, it's amazing how you can share timelines at the same time. I was in a place where I was actually holding up my legal document to a court. I mean, and then
Wow.
you know, anyway, gets me
Wow.
off on track. Hello, Cass Hawk. How you how you doing? Trina,
Well,
this has been a heavy. Actually, it's been delightful. It's been very informative,
yeah.
extremely, and the contracts. I want to say this is that if you are in a place, there is nothing ever wrong in not asking.
Mhm.
And there is a proverb says, you have not because you ask not.
Yes. The law of non-interference is very present here.
Yep.
It's one of the most important laws, but everything is available to you if you ask.
Everything.
Everything.
Everything. It's
Everything.
there. And there are those in the multidimensional realm that
Mhm.
can be great allies.
Oh my God, we need to understand the ultimate law is called cooperation, y'all. Cooperate. We don't give our power away. We work together in unity, in common will, and common love, and common desire. Cooperation will kick anything's butt
Yeah.
because there's
Someone
way
says that
more
that
love.
was it's in the book of Matthew.
Yeah, when we can learn to cooperate, Wayne, with all of us
Mm,
and all of the spirits and all of the beautiful masters and angels and loving healers and shamans of the ancient past and wizards and witches and oh, if we could truly come together. Wow.
do you know here's a thought as we get ready to come out of this. Um, this is the time to start making allies and friends in the spirit realm.
Hmm.
This is the time to start. Every friendship has what? Has a bond of friendship.
Yeah.
Every business relationship has a bond agreement.
Yeah.
There are many higher intelligences that are more than willing to help. You
Hmm.
just have to begin to know them. They know you.
They do. That
They
is
do.
so funny. They
Yeah.
sure do. It's so
Yeah.
funny. I was literally hearing when you said that, Wayne, guys, they already know who you are. So literally, they're like waiting because they see you.
Yes, they do. Sarah Hoffman, what'd you say, my dear? Super interesting and have learned a lot. Yeah, yeah. That makes the hour go by quick. I mean, you know,
Yes,
we
it
try we
does.
time travel. Knowledge, it takes you places. But
Yeah.
you should get to know the spirits now.
Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Hmm.
Um, I contend is that you're going to be over there for much longer than you've been here. So that's, you know, this is the time to expand your awareness. Your consciousness exceeds this plane. So, yeah.
You know, Wayne, I literally keep seeing the correlation to all of these entities are within you.
Yeah, well,
So
that's
I really think that there's special powers and gifts that you activate within your own self when you have an understanding, knowledge, and relationship and an awareness of these beings. You literally have that inside of you. So that wisdom now can be activated within you through your own connection, just like they have you within them. Cooperation.
we could we could write volumes on this.
Oh, it's the strongest
Yeah,
power, and
yeah.
it's the strongest of it is done with love. You can make agreements in darkness too. You know what I mean? But the strongest
Hmm.
ones are in love. Yeah.
Some people are saying that they're buffering us. That's okay. You know, you can buffer us. The great thing I've done, I told you yesterday, I told everyone I'm demonetized this channel. I want us to be able to have conversations and
Absolutely.
not to be worried about censorship. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Not worry about hurting an advertiser's feelings. Yeah.
No, actually I had an entity approach me and said, you don't need it. Something else. And I said, okay. So
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
See,
Oh, we can
sometimes
keep
they
going.
got good information.
Once in a while.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah.
quite often, because
All
I'm
the
in
time.
alignment, yeah, with some very wise, beautiful beings, and then
Yeah.
my own higher self. If tapping into that, it knows everything. It's just
Exactly.
can you get away from personality, knock the ego away, and really get into the vibration of that and connect to it, and then you start to hear and get the images. But all of us have this ability. It's hard to get into those frequencies unless you've been practicing. So practice, guys. Higher self, telling you.
Isn't that what they say? Practice makes perfect.
It
That
does because
that
you're
old
building a
idiom.
memory and you're building a neural pathway procedure in your brain, and it's through practice and repetition. Those pathways get stronger and stronger and stronger every time you travel down them.
I often think about this, and I know we've gone over, but it's interesting. Is that so? Is consciousness, is it predicated on memory? Can consciousness exist without memory?
Yes,
So that's an
yes,
interesting state, isn't it?
yes, it can.
Yeah. I think that that's in that place that's
I
really,
think source in its purest essence can't hold memory,
hmm,
because it would stop the creation process from unfolding. So literally that might be why we hold memory for creation. So creation can process its creation because it can't hold memory. It only can create.
that's interesting. It's like, why is it that we can only, the light that we see coming from the heavens is only the light of the past?
Yeah, that's
We never
such a
get to see the light
conundrum.
of the present. Which I guess, the wise men of the
You
East,
know,
that's
but Wayne, you know what just came into my head?
what's that?
It's the same as the 6-second delay that you have between your higher self and your physical avatar. It's the same thing because it's always living in the past while you're living in the, yeah, it's just, they showed me it's the same thing. Interesting.
In the book Edidorfa, the man who started it all, he says that many times when people are in the transition of crossing over, that 6 seconds is where they experience their hell.
Yep.
It's only 6 seconds, but they will tell you they were there for an eternity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo! Okay.
That's why I said dive into the darkness now and make friends with it so you can deal with it and heal it, because then it can't hurt you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It can't. Yep. It can't, because darkness cannot stand to be in the presence of light. And you can only shine that light if you've gone through forgiveness.
what I start saying is start singing, baby.
Yes.
Because it works.
Because vibration. You're like, oh, hell with that. I'm going to get my jive on. And then that's all it takes. It's like beer, literally,
Yeah.
you're beaming out frequency and vibration. That's not conducive for crabby darkness. They don't
Glenn
like it.
says that I'm taking a jukebox that, you know, can last.
No, wait, I'm going to your house when I want to rock and roll. I'm going to your house.
It's like it's always got the gin. We always got the thing going on. All right. Trina, thank you, my dear. Have a
Much
great
love.
week. You got anything going on your channel?
Just working, and I've been so busy with, you know, because everything's opening up here.
Mhm.
Everybody, I'm like so over the top slammed right now. And then apparently one of our lovely little family members, she told me, she says, you know, you're doing a lot up in the astrals at night, and I can testify to that. So I've been busy on both ends, like working during the day and I'm working during the night. So yeah, right now it's been fun.
Well, whoop. There we go. Yeah.
More rock and roll. Gotta love it.
Well, it got me again. All right, everyone, be good. We will see you next week. Have a great week. Remember, love yourself and you'll be able to love others around you. All right, everyone, be good. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.